By the end of this video, you'll be able to apply 5 essential prompt engineering patterns with Claude, a powerful tool that can supercharge your development workflow. You'll learn how to craft effective prompts that get the most out of Claude's capabilities, making you a more efficient and effective developer. Prompt engineering is a crucial skill for anyone working with large language models like Claude, as it allows you to tap into their full potential and achieve specific, high-quality results. With well-designed prompts, you can automate tasks, generate high-quality code, and even build custom tools tailored to your needs. The 5 patterns we'll cover are fundamental to working with Claude and will give you a solid foundation for creating effective prompts. We'll explore how to use these patterns to solve real-world problems and improve your overall development experience. By mastering these patterns, you'll be able to unlock Claude's full potential and take your development skills to the next level. So, let's get started with the first pattern. All right, you've got your developer hat on, ready to dive into some serious prompt engineering. Before we jump into the good stuff, let's make sure our tools are in order. The first step is ensuring you have a Claude account and the Claude Code tool set up. This will be your foundation for experimenting with different techniques. Step 1. Get your Claude account. Head over to ClaudeLab, https://claude.co. If you haven't already, sign up or log in. You'll need this account to interact with Claude and its tools effectively. Step 2. Install the Claude Code tool. Open your terminal or command prompt if you're on Windows. We'll install the Claude Code tool using npm since it's a node package. Bash npm install g Claude Code CLI. Run this command to make sure everything is installed correctly. If all goes well, you should see some output confirming the installation. Step 3. Create your first Claude Code project. Let's set up a new project so we can start experimenting right away. Bash Claude Code init my first prompt engineering experiment. This command will create a new directory called my first prompt engineering experiment with all the necessary files for your project. Step 4. Inspect your project structure. Navigate into your new project folder. Bash cd my first prompt engineering experiment. Take a look at what's inside. You'll see some familiar directories like src, tests, and config. The src directory is where all the magic happens. Step 5. Configure your project. Before we start coding, let's configure the project to use Claude Code properly. Open up the claudeconfig.json file in your editor. JSON. Model, Claude 2. Temperature, 0.7. Max onderstrepingsteken tokens, 100. This is where you can tweak settings like the model to use, temperature for creativity, and max tokens for response length. Step 6. Write your first prompt. Let's start by writing a simple prompt in the src/index.js file. JS. Const prompt equals, what are some common patterns in prompt engineering? Claude Code, prompt. Then response equals. Console.log, response. Catch, error equals. Console.error, error. Run your script to see Claude's response. Bash node src/index.js. You should now see a response from Claude, showing off the pattern that's about to become your foundation. By the end of this scene, you'll be able to apply 5 key prompt engineering patterns in your interactions with Claude. Priming is like setting up context for Claude before sending a new query. It's useful when you need Claude to recall previous information or maintain a specific context. Step by step. 1. Open your Claude Code file. 2. Add the following snippet at the top. Python. Priming equals context from last conversation. Please remember this. 3. When you send a new query, include the priming variable in your prompt. Chaining is about breaking down complex tasks into smaller, more manageable parts and having Claude handle each part sequentially. Step by step. 1. Define your main task. 2. Break it down into subtasks. 3. Send the first subtask to Claude. 4. Chain subsequent queries by referencing the output of the previous one. For example, Python. Task equals generate a summary for this article. Then, based on that summary, provide an analysis. First underscore subtask equals please summarize this article. Article URL. Summary equals send underscore query. First underscore subtask. Analysis equals, based on your summary. Please analyze the key points of the article. Send_query analysis. Least commitment is about sending Claude multiple options or scenarios so it can provide input without committing to a single path. Step by step. 1. List out your options. 2. Send each option as part of your prompt, asking Claude to comment on them. For example, Python. Options equals option A, option B, option C. 4 opt-in options. Prompt equals F. Please evaluate this option. Opt. Response equals send_query prompt. Print response. Role-playing involves asking Claude to adopt a specific role or persona for the conversation. Step by step. 1. Define the role. 2. Include it in your prompt. For example, Python. Role_play equals act as an experienced software architect. Query equals F. Role_play. Please review this design document. Response equals send_query query. Print response. Self-consistency means asking Claude to ensure the information within your queries is consistent and coherent. Step by step. 1. Ensure all parts of your query align. 2. Ask Claude to check for consistency. For example, Python. Query equals given the data model details. Please verify that this SQL query will work without any issues. Response equals send_query query. Print response. Now, pick one of these patterns and apply it in your current Claude project. See how it changes the dynamic of your interactions. By now, you've applied a few prompt engineering patterns to your Claude interactions. Today, we're going to dive deeper and see these patterns in action. You'll witness how they enhance the clarity and relevance of Claude's responses. Let's get started. First, open up your terminal or IDE. We'll be working with Claude Code. Remember, that's Claude as an Anthropic, not any other tool. Create a new file called pattern_test.py. This will hold our prompts and Claude calls. Next, add the following code. Python. From Claude, import Claude client. Client equals Claude client. Your API here. Def test_prompt. Response equals client.generate prompt. Print response. Test_prompt. Can you explain how to use TensorFlow for image classification? Print NN. Test_prompt. How can I optimize this SQL query for better performance on a large database? Print NN. Test_prompt. Please provide step-by-step instructions to set up a local development environment for Django. Print NN. Replace your API key here with your actual API key. Now, run this script. Bash. Python pattern_test.py. Take a look at the output. Notice how each prompt gets a clear and relevant response. The first one provides an explanation of TensorFlow for image classification. The second optimizes in SQL query. And the third sets up a Django environment with detailed steps. This is what we mean by clarity and relevance in action. Now, let's see if we can improve these responses further using prompt engineering patterns. For the next pattern, let's focus on adding context. Modify one of the prompts to include more background information. Python. Test_prompt. I'm building a web application and need to integrate TensorFlow for image recognition. Can you provide some guidance? Run this again and observe how Claude responds with more tailored advice. By now, you've seen firsthand the power of these patterns in making your interactions with Claude more effective. In your next session, try applying as many patterns as possible to see which ones work best for different types of prompts. By now, you've seen how to apply 5 powerful prompt engineering patterns using Claude. Let's review the results and understand why certain approaches work better than others. This will help us combine these techniques for even more effective outcomes. First, open your terminal or IDE where you ran those Claude prompts. Look at the responses you got from each pattern. For example, if you used the clarity pattern, did the text become more concise and to the point? If you applied the specificity pattern, did the response get more detailed? Let's take a closer look at one of your results as an example. Suppose you try the context extension pattern to add relevant background information. Open that result in your text editor or viewer. 1. Clarity. Does the text now have fewer unnecessary words? Are the main points more easily digestible? 2. Specificity. Did adding more details make the response clearer and more accurate? Now, switch to another pattern you tried. For instance, if you use the hypothesis generation pattern, did it help in generating multiple potential scenarios or solutions? 1. Hypotheses. Do you see a variety of possible outcomes or approaches? 2. Feasibility. Can these hypotheses be realistically tested or implemented? By comparing and contrasting how different patterns affected the responses, you can start to understand their strengths and limitations. Let's say you have a complex problem that involves both context and clarity. You could try applying both patterns sequentially or simultaneously. 1. Start with context. Add relevant background information. 2. Apply clarity. Make the response more concise without losing important details. 3. Test hypothesizes. Generate different hypotheses based on this enhanced context. Review these combined results to see how well they address the problem at hand. Note any improvements or areas where further refinement might be needed. Go back and refine your prompts by combining patterns that work best together for each scenario. Experiment with different orders or layers of application. This will help you get even more value out of Claude's capabilities. By the end of this video, you'll be able to apply these prompt engineering patterns to boost the effectiveness and efficiency of your projects using Claude. Let's dive into what you can do next. First off, take a look at the patterns we've covered. 1. Pattern 1. Structured prompts for clear instructions. 2. Pattern 2. Leveraging anthropic APIs for specific tasks. 3. Pattern 3. Customizing Claude responses with environment variables. 4. Pattern 4. Optimizing queries with contextual information. 5. Pattern 5. Enhancing output quality with formatting tips. Now, it's time to put these patterns into practice. Here's a concrete next step. 1. Start by identifying a project. Think of an ongoing project where Claude could add value. Maybe you're working on a new feature for your application or improving documentation. 2. Pick one pattern to apply first. For example, if your project involves generating code snippets, consider using Pattern 2 to leverage anthropic APIs for specific tasks. You can start by setting up an API key and integrating it into Claude's context with a simple command like $cp.env.example.env $echo anthropic _key equals your _here env. 3. Test the integration. Write a test prompt to see how Claude responds. For instance, you might ask it to generate a function that calculates Fibonacci numbers. The prompt could be, generate a Python function named Fibonacci that takes an integer n and returns the nth number in the Fibonacci sequence. 4. Experiment with combinations. Don't limit yourself to just one pattern. Combine patterns to see how they interact. For example, you can structure your prompt using Pattern 1 while also leveraging Pattern 2 for specific code snippets. 5. Monitor and iterate. Observe the results of Claude's responses. If needed, tweak your prompts or environment variables until you get the desired outcome. By doing this, you'll not only enhance your current project, but also gain a deeper understanding of how to effectively engineer prompts for Claude. Remember, practice makes perfect,